Steve McShane here, McShane's Nursery and Landscape Supply, with an introduction to fertilizing your landscape. Feeding your plants is so important. While I often recommend once a season, I'll say for sure once in the spring, once in the fall. Spring feeding is for leaf and stem growth. Fall feeding is to prepare for that winter. A lot of root development. There's two types of fertilizer out there, conventional and organic. So I'll start with some of the conventional fertilizers. Now, conventional fertilizer is chemical in its composition. It was manufactured as opposed to brought about through natural means. Every fertilizer bag is going to have 3 numbers on it: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Nitrogen focuses on leaf and stem growth. Phosphorus is going to be root development, and potassium is cellular functions. I often say up, down, all around. When it comes to organic fertilizer, the plant doesn't really know the difference when it comes to the nutrition from, say, conventional or chemical means. But what I will say as a soil scientist is you put the organic fertilizer on, and the metabolic processes with which the soil and the soil flora fauna digests that organic fertilizer and makes it plant available really adds tremendous diversity to your soil profile. So organic's kind of the way to go. That said, again, labeled in the same way as our conventional fertilizer. In this case, 444. Now the numbers might be smaller than the bag with the much larger numbers, but don't let that fool you. This actually ends up sticking around in the soil and being plant available for a longer period of time. It does take a little longer to become plant available because all those micronutrients need to be broken down by the soil flora fauna. So just be prepared. If the in-laws are coming and you need a green lawn, that's where the chemical stuff comes in. If you've got 6 or 8 weeks to prepare for it, that's where the organic comes in. A lot of the good labels like this Dr. Earth are also going to be supplemented by, say, probiotic microorganisms. If you're interested in that kind of a thing, be sure to see my video on competitive gardening and extreme gardening. Fertilizer comes in liquid forms as well, and it's been chelated in some unique ways recently to provide for ease of feeding. Liquid fertilizer. One of my favorite organic options out there is via kelp and seaweed. Really, really good stuff. This can be applied as a foliar spray as well. One of the more popular liquid fertilizers that's out there that is organic is a fish emulsion. Remember the tale about Native American Indians where they would bury a fish with every plant that they would grow. That's kind of what we're talking about. Now the same conventional stuff available in liquid form, say this Master Bloom, same 3 numbers, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And if there isn't anything that's liquid that's kind of unique, I got to point out this product. This is Dr. Earth Life. It's a new type of organic fertilizer where the pellets are chelated and are thrown right onto the landscape and break down with a little bit of irrigation. This is ideal for really lawns and ground covers. Hard to reach places where it's hard to feed. All you need to do is spread it. And look at the power. 555. That's a pretty good value for your money. Feeding your landscape is so important. I always tell people when they buy plants at my nursery that it's almost like adopting an animal or pet or having a child. They need to be fed and looked after at least twice a year, in the spring and in the fall, because that's when the plant needs it the most. Feed your landscape and your landscape will feed you. Let's get gardening.